So here's what I recommend: not showing up like a marketer, right? At the end of the day, one of my mentors told this to me. We think we're playing a game of catch when actually our prospects are playing a game of dodgeball. They're getting so many marketing messages every day that if you're like, hey, I'm Mike's leads at mike.com, they instantly know that's a marketer. I try to make it a little less obvious that I'm a cold, like the best cold emails will work from someone, you know, your personal stuff like mikeprivate@gmail.com or something like that, right? All right. So do you suggest, I got a question by Aaron, says, do you suggest using a general email address or something specific related to the niche you're targeting? So I recommend not showing up like a marketer. Like I always recommend the less you can flag, like if you're like, hey, you know, let me see if I can dim that down because the lighting's really bad. Cool. Yeah, the lighting's just messing it up. Actually, let me pull that back. Cool. Okay, so here's what I recommend. Here we go. 1 second. What was the question? So here's what I recommend: not showing up like a marketer, right? At the end of the day, one of my mentors told this to me. We think we're playing a game of catch when actually our prospects are playing a game of dodgeball. They're getting so many marketing messages every day that if you're like, hey, I'm Mike's leads at mike.com, they instantly know that's a marketer. I try to make it a little less obvious that I'm a cold, like the best cold emails will work from someone, you know, your personal stuff like mikeprivate@gmail.com or something like that, right? Or, you know, mike@mikemarin.com. Something that's less, you know, mine is influenced digitally, which again, it kind of gives it away, but not so much. I wouldn't go hardcore with the marketing name. Yes, Chase. So I would avoid terms like biz and lead in my domain. Exactly, do certain words risk of being spent to spam. They might. Never heard of that before, but you got to think of what these spam filters are doing. Like just like how you figure out the game on how to game Google. Cold email is actually very difficult. People think that it's super easy. Getting deliverability, but the reality is that's one of the biggest challenges. That's what I've spent a lot of time to learn. And you have to think like, it's like SEO, right? What is Google trying to provide? The most useful, relevant information. What are the inboxes trying to do? They're trying to provide you that user experience Gmail. They don't want them getting a lot of marketing messages, right? That's why they have the promotions tab. They want the best experience for them in their inbox. So I think if it has like the word biz or leads or something like that, it's maybe another way that their algorithm can pick up that it's a marketing message, because a personal message would never show up like that, right? Mike, which resource do you recommend for finding leads in the UK? So guys, there's a whole bunch of different ones. Anymail Finder, hunter.io, like there's so many. And here's the thing, right? The hardest thing making a program like this is that the reality is this stuff changes all the time, and the money's made by staying on the cutting edge. So what you guys want to be doing is trying out new tools. Like I'm always trying out new tools in my business. I'm always trying new ways to scrape leads. Some of the ways that we scrape leads that I had my VA scraping a year ago, I just went to go train on that, and it doesn't even work anymore the same way that it did, right? But now there's another tool that does the same thing, if not better. So the way that I would do it is actually Google, you know, best scraping tool, best, you know, new scraping tools or whatever. And then obviously just being around, being in groups, you know, getting up to speed, you'll find, I know Anymail Finder is working really good right now, still using that. D7 Lead Finder is great. That works in the UK. I mean, they all work, pretty much all work in the UK. Like this stuff works whether you're in Australia. And the best way to scrape, like I said, the harder the lead is to get, the better response you're going to get. So I like hiring people from Upwork, Python programmers, like I talked last time, like I showed in last week's case study, and using them because they'll be able to scrape Like one of the niches that I'm still in, we scraped Australia, we scraped Canada, we scraped UK, we scraped Ireland. I scraped all the English speaking countries just to up the scaling game of that. Cause like we'd hit the US hard, right? So that's that.